Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement. Thank you for joining me today, Saturday, July 24th, 2021. This is my weekly gold, precious metals, mining wrap up, pep talk, support group, whatever you want to call it. It's been a rough week. If you're feeling like a dummy because you invested in precious metal mining stocks, that's because you're a dummy. Just kidding. But if you're anything like me, I can be really hard on myself and really feeling kind of stupid right now for having such a large percentage of my investable capital deployed within the precious metals mining sector. However, I think there's hope in sight and even possibility of six bagger potential in some of the precious metal mining stock names. And I'll kind of go through a diagram of that at the end of this video. But first, yes, it was a bad week. What else can you say? Sentiment is so negative. It just feels really like negative in the mining sector right now. But sometimes it's darkest right before dawn. Let's hope that that's the case. But we know that's the case, right? Sentiment always goes up and down and up and down. And hey, it could certainly get worse, right? Next week, I could be sitting here even more down in the basement, down in the dumps regarding the investments that I have in precious metals mining. But eventually, it's going to bounce back. And when it does, hopefully, we'll all be along for the ride and enjoy some great profits. So, one thing I wanted to mention this week was I read a great quarterly letter from Larry Lepard, who's a Harvard educated, I don't know if he runs it's called a hedge fund or a private investment fund, but he's very active within the gold mining sector. And a really, I've watched interviews he's done and follow him on Twitter. He's a very down to earth, very smart, knowledgeable guy. I did leave him a voicemail and he never called me back, but nonetheless, he's very generous and he puts out a quarterly letter where he kind of talks about his investments, his investment thesis, his performance, and it's a great thing to read. I would highly recommend it. Larry Lepard, Lepard. If you Google Larry Lepard Gold, you'll be able to find your way to his website and to the quarterly letter. I'm not going to put a link below because if you're smart enough to still be listening to this video, you're smart enough to figure out how to get to that quarterly letter. But one thing he brought up a lot of great things, but one thing he brought up that I knew, but it was just I kind of forgotten about, and it was kind of great to hear, was at the end he talked about the three potential catalysts in particular for individual gold mining stocks. The first catalyst would be obviously a higher gold price. A higher gold price is going to, fix a lot of things in the gold mining sector. Although I would make the argument that we already have kind of a higher gold price right now, right? 1,800 an ounce. If you told us that 3 years ago, we would have rejoiced. However, for whatever reason, the market has yet to recognize, the profit potential that a lot of these miners have, even at $1,800 per ounce. So, number one, higher gold price. Number two, within individual companies, another catalyst could be the potential for higher production. And there's a lot of companies out there that have huge potential plans, concrete plans, to increase their gold production in the coming 2 or 3 years. Equinox Gold, Fortitude Gold, Fortuna Silver, which is actually more of a gold mining company at this point, Kinross. There's a whole bunch of them. So that's another potential. If you have a higher gold price, which means higher profit per ounce, plus you've got more ounces, it adds up really quick to much higher cash flow and net income profit for these companies. And the third factor, okay, so if we get a higher gold price and we get higher production from our individual companies. The third factor that could really help explode precious metal mining stock prices would be if this horrible sentiment that we have right now improved. Because the price to earnings ratio on average within the gold mining sector is horribly low. So, if we get a higher gold price, higher production, and sentiment improves, like it could double, like the price to earnings ratio, the average price to earnings ratio in the mining sector. You're looking at potential for multi bagger, 4, 5, 6, 8, 900% increases in the price of some of these gold mining stocks. So, yeah, the situation right now is challenging. However, the prospects for the future could be bright. And of those three factors, we don't need all three of them to go in our favor. If one or two of them were to go in our favor and the other were to remain static, we're still going to see increases in precious metal mining stock prices. Right now, I'm an accountant, believe it or not, so I can read a balance sheet, I can read an income statement, I can read a cash flow statement. The value proposition of a lot of these mining stocks is astounding. I mean, a lot of them are selling like their market cap is equal to their net tangible assets. That means when you buy the stock, you're actually paying the price that you're paying is equal to the actual assets that the company owns. Not even thinking about the fact that they're making profit and that they're growing. So, if like similar multiples that are applied to like the airline industry or Apple Computer or a company like AT&T or a company like 3M or General Electric, if those same metrics were applied to the average gold mining stock, we'd have prices that are 2, 3, 4, or 5 times higher than they are right now. So, things, like I said, repeat or run, things are challenging right now. But from a value perspective, it's hard to see these stocks going too much significantly lower. They definitely could. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not recommending that you buy or sell any particular stock or in any particular sector. But from a value perspective, the price to earnings ratios are low. When you compare the market cap to the assets these companies have, they're low. We could get a much lower gold price. That could happen. If that happens, then yes, things could actually even get worse for the precious metal mining sector. But let's think about that for a second. How much lower can the price of gold go? There's a lot of demand for gold right now. Plus, with the printing of money, and I'm not going to go on and on about this, there's many more people who are more knowledgeable than I that you can research and read about, but the U.S. government can't afford higher interest rates. The U.S. government, the only way we can pay our debt back, the only way they can pay the debt back is with a much less valuable, a more diluted dollar. And that only means that the price of gold should go up. I guess it could go down, but it's really hard to imagine or to lay out a scenario going forward where the U.S. dollar continues to become more valuable and that the price of gold decreases even further. So, hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hang in there. If you have any, like I said, ideas or any feedback for my video, I'd be happy to see them in the comments section below. And hopefully I'll be talking to you next week. Thanks for watching.